we're already live. Yeah, like jump to 7 really quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm excited
thank
to
you
take
all
some
for
time.
joining us.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you. And welcome to everyone who's already joining live, and thank you to everyone who's going to be watching this later. My name is Jessica Ann. I am an author here on Substack. I have a published novel out. I also write a publication here called Wildest Dreams. And a few months ago, we got together with One Brilliant Arc, their story team, to start hosting indie author spotlights as a way of giving back to other indie authors who are trying to get their story and their voice out there in the world. So I'm going to pass it over to Jaylon with One Brilliant Arc and let her introduce herself.
Hey everyone, so glad to see you all popping in, and we're super happy to be here today with Ella Chapek. I am an editor for One Brilliant Arc, and we're a story studio that specifically is on a mission to amplify voices that have been silenced in the past. We specifically like to work with people from marginalized backgrounds. We help them edit and publish their stories or get their screenplays edited and then produced. And we're just super excited to have the chance to give back to the creative community and just build that community up. Because we were all storytellers who didn't know that our voice had value at one point, and so now we want to share that with other people. So with that, I'll pass it over to Ella Chapek and let her introduce herself and tell us a little bit about her creative journey.
Hi, okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Ella Capek. I also have a Substack here called Wide-Eyed Ella, where I talk about personal development, creativity, spirituality. I often share the behind-the-scenes process on self-publishing my debut novel, a healing fiction novel called The Source of the Wind. And yeah, and I guess that's what we're going to be talking about today, which I'm very, very excited. Yeah.
Definitely. I'm super excited. You shared with us a little bit a synopsis of the story that you said you just published it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny because it's in the past year, but it's coming on to a
Mhm.
year. So I published it June 2025. So we're
Oh,
coming
Oh,
close to a
wow.
year now. Yeah.
wow.
I know.
Amazing. Happy birthday to the Taste of the Wind. Um, but yeah, tell us a little bit about what inspired this book.
Mhm. To preface this, I would say that I had been writing for a bunch of years. It was a very happy discovery of mine. Most of my creative energies have been going to music. I'm a music teacher professionally, but I've been writing for many, many years, but I never thought that I would ever actually write on a full-length novel. So I'll preface it with that because that's quite important to, I think, my story. But I was basically 25 years old. I had been diagnosed a few years earlier with, anxiety, depression, C-PTSD from not an easy childhood. And I had the realization one night that even though therapy was obviously helping and, I was, benefiting from it, I had the realization that unless I actively got my story out of me, I would never be able to fully move on and fully process from the traumatic experiences that I had. And I sat with this realization late at night in my bed, but I realized that I did not want to write a memoir or like I didn't understand how I was going to get my story out of me. And so I went to sleep with that question, but I woke up with the answer, which was very, very surprising. And the answer was to write a novel. And I had the two main characters. I had Rafi and I had Arella. I had the relationship between them, and I had the general message or feeling of the book, which was that there is always help available. The fact that I had that experience to me was insane because I was generally not expecting to have
I love
kind
it.
of mystical experience like that and an answer to my question in that kind of manner. But what was even more, I guess, surprising was that I was very excited by this idea. And I genuinely, even though I'd been writing for many years, I had always had a very strong imagination, could get lost with characters in my head.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I never thought of actually sitting down and, tackling a novel, like actually writing a novel. But
Big task.
it's a big task, exactly. Like it was so cool, but so daunting. Like, how on earth am I supposed to do that? But the idea was so exciting to me. And I was like, okay, well, let's just play, let's just play. Who are these characters? Because I had the two main characters in my head already. So who are they? And then boom, a ton of answers would just, wash into my mind. And then, okay, so what happens to them? Boom, another ton of answers would just flood into my mind. And it was 2 weeks of just feverishly jotting down everything, asking myself questions, and the answers coming from nowhere. And all of a sudden, there would be this full story, just this full plot. And I realized that, oh, I actually have to write this now. I'm actually at the point where I'm so excited by this idea, and this is so intriguing to me. And the plotting it was done. I just needed to go ahead and write it and see where it took me. And so that's kind of how the story came to be. But the reason was because I was looking for a way to process my pains that I hadn't finished processing, that I didn't really have how. Because I found therapy to be incredibly helpful for certain things, but because I think with trauma, it can often stay stuck in your body and in your nervous system. My experience was it helped immensely with anxiety and depression, but with C-PTSD, it just I wasn't fully being able to move through it. And it was the process of writing a fictional story where I was getting to use my creativity and imagination. That was that process that really helped me move things, and I was able to feel my way around it and also make sense of it and give it meaning and create beauty out of it as well, which is, I think, something that I very much, it's one of my values, to create beauty in this world. So yeah, I'd say that's how it came to be. Yeah.
Wow, that's actually so cool. I mean, just from a professional editing standpoint, the ingredients that you said you woke up that night from, you woke up from that night with, is exactly how you start a story. It's the characters and the core theme, and then from there you ask questions like, what happens to them? And I mean, what you're saying makes so much sense with writing, helping to process, specifically because memoirs they kind of require you to have an understanding of your story looking back, and you have to have ownership of your story in order to tell it. But if you're just trying to process and explore your story and understand it, then fiction is a really great medium for that, because I think a lot of writers find that even if they're just writing a fiction story, they oftentimes end up finding themselves on the page. It's like it's just this reflex that happens whether we want it to or not. You just you start learning things about yourself that you never knew. So in that process, as you were writing this book, what was something that you learned about yourself that you were kind of surprised about, or that finally you were able to accept?
Oh, that is such a good question. I feel like there's two directions I can go with this. One is that some of the harder hitting chapters, which naturally are more towards the end of the book, where the main character is really confronting her own past and her own emotions, I had to get to a point where I was ready to face them. And I think having written those chapters, I left those chapters to the end. I wrote the first draft very much out of order. And when I was ready and I was able to really look at, I guess, my own emotions and my own experiences that I knew I was giving her, but I wanted for her to now go through it, I learned from that, okay, sometimes it can be scary to face that, but also when you are doing it through an avenue like creativity or using your imagination, you're taking it outside of yourself and you're processing it through someone else that you've created. There's something about it that can be very, very comforting and very reassuring, because it's almost like it's not stuck within me anymore. It's something that I can see and I can help this character with. And so it was almost like I was helping myself. And I realized that, I have many ways in which I can empower myself and help myself through something. And this is another one of those ways. And I think the process of writing the story for me was, me taking ownership of my voice, like me owning my voice. I think a lot of people, obviously everyone has their own experiences and everyone's traumas meets them in different ways. But for me, I felt very much blocked from expression and from communicating. Like I wasn't allowed to own my truth and own my experience, not in order to not offend anyone else or to not to trigger their insecurities. And for me, writing The Source of the Wind, my novel, for me, it was almost like I was teaching myself, I'm allowed to own my voice. I'm allowed to, state my truth. And it doesn't have to be in a way that hurts anyone else. It doesn't have to be in a way that, crosses their boundaries, but I am allowed to own it. And I think me writing The Source of the Wind for me was a way to kind of give myself that experience. And I learned that, I can own my voice. Like, I'm allowed to express myself. It's okay. Like, it's not only even just okay, it's incredibly beautiful and powerful to do that. And I think once you take back your voice and you realize that your voice is yours, you get to decide how to express yourself. It's incredibly liberating. And it's just like, good.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's that relief. And I think that's what I learned, but that I can give myself that relief. I don't have to keep everything in all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the beauty of it being fiction is that I don't feel so exposed, because this is a different character and there are many details of her life that wasn't from mine. It was from my imagination. So
Yeah.
it's also kind of beautiful that, like, I could work through my own stuff, through a story, through creation, but it's also, like, I still have my privacy, basically.
Yes. That is so beautiful and powerful. That's actually, like, everything that you're talking about is exactly what we love to talk about here at One Brilliant Arc. It's exactly why we wanted to start editing for people, because it's like walking people through that journey. And it's a very healing journey to write your story and to own your voice that way. And it's a hard one. People don't understand, like, how all encompassing it is to write a novel, because some people say, like, oh, fiction is just like a fun little hobby, but it's intense. It's so much more than that. It really pulls from all parts of your soul, and getting your story out on the page like that. I mean, what you said is very much, that's exactly why storytellers are empathy teachers, because we're giving people that chance to see through someone else's experience for a little bit, walk in someone else's shoes, and see what it feels like to live a different experience than they've lived. And so we start teaching people how to have empathy for others in that way. And writing it yourself, you're walking through that healing, having empathy for your characters, kind of like everyone says, when you're being mean to yourself, picture yourself as, like, the younger version of yourself, the child version. Well, fiction is a way that, like, you can picture yourself at every stage, not just as a child, and you can give compassion and mercy to them. So that's so beautiful. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Sorry.
Ella, I was gonna say, I have a question for you about like the process of how the story came to you, because I have a very similar one. I don't know if you've heard me talk about my book as well.
I've read your book and it's amazing. I love your book so much.
Oh, thank you.
So good. I was like, oh my goodness, I need to know what happens next.
Thank you. But yeah, a similar process of literally, like, these scenes just started playing like a movie in my head, and I was doing the same thing as you, like you said, furiously jotting them down, and then you're like, oh, I have to, like, turn this into a book now. Because I also hadn't really written much. I hadn't written at all in my adult life. So I'm curious though. Obviously, it has been a very therapeutic experience for you, but I'm also wondering if you'd be willing to talk. Like, do you think the story came to you from a spiritual perspective, or from, I don't know if it's, however you want to say, like, if it's your higher self or God, or where that came from, that inspiration?
I love that question so much, because I feel like, I love that question so much, because I feel like it was born through me, but it was also, I almost feel like the spirit of the story, for whatever reason, chose me for it to be born through. And I don't know if it was my higher self. It could be my higher self. It could be the universe. It could be whatever else. I can give it all sorts of names, but I do feel like there absolutely was some sort of spiritual connection, that for whatever reason, I was this story's mother. Because of, the experiences that I've had, because I seem to have a good, ability to be creative and a strong imagination. For whatever reason, I do feel like the spirit of the story was like, you. And I'm like, okay. Like,
I've been voluntold.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do feel like it was, and now I look back at an experience as one of the experiences that I absolutely had to do in my life. I wouldn't have been able to have said that as it had just come to me. Because as it just come to me, I was still in the process of what on earth is going on? Like, why is that coming to me? Like, I wouldn't have been able to have said that, but now that I've gone through the process and I understand the importance of it in my life and what it's given me in my journey, and I also understand what I've been able to give it too, like the whole amalgamation of, well, whatever the word is, the whole combination of my gifts, my pains, my skills, my imagination, everything that's me, what I've been able to insert into it. I understand that there was a soul marriage here between the spirit of the idea and me. And I obviously, that's, it's not that every spirit is going to be like, hello, we want you of the story. I think this one, for whatever reason, it did feel like the spirit of the story kind of chose me to co-create with it. I absolutely see it as from a spiritual perspective, and the story, The Source of the Wind, is quite spiritual as well. That's something that I also very much inserted into how I made meaning of my experiences, and then what I offer to readers, I think, through the story. But yeah, I definitely see it as a very spiritual experience. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's such a another thing that a lot of people just don't understand about writing until you've actually written something, but there is very much a spirit in a story that's alive. And whatever you may call it, but that creative subconscious that we have, it's like those of us who are born with a creative soul, there's something in us that creates without our permission. And if we just learn to listen to that, then that magic that you're talking about happens. I mean, you mentioned you had the plot and then you just had to go through the process of writing it. I'm curious, as you were going through that process of writing it and like the spirit of the story that was alive was kind of like, becoming alive. Was it kind of taking over your plot and like making choices that you didn't make and then you just saw them on the page and you were like, oh, wow, okay, this is where we're going?
Yeah, that's such a good question, because I feel like I'm sure there were little moments of that happening. I was like, oh, okay, that's how she thinks about that. Okay. There was definitely a lot of discovery happening, but I think it was more in like little moments, like little, like, oh, okay, so she has this characteristic that I didn't know of, or, oh, okay, she feels this way about this thing that I didn't know of, or, she has a best friend who is like her, I don't know even how to, I wish for everyone to have a best friend like him. Like, he is the one who's going to be like, no, you need the absolute best. I'm going to freaking protect you from like everything. Like, he's super like all in. But it was interesting to write the other characters, the supporting characters, because I knew who they were, but I'm fleshing them out as well. So it's like, oh, he thinks this way about this, okay, that's interesting. So there were moments like that, but I think the whole outline, like the general plot, actually very much stayed intact, like which was quite interesting. I knew the general direction. I knew more or less like the beats that I was trying to hit. I think because I had plotted it beforehand, and because I knew what the purpose was of the story, I knew where I was going to. So there wasn't a huge revelation that really just, like threw the table like in the air, that, with everything on it. It was more just little discoveries of characters and like, oh, okay, like that's an interesting moment that these two are having, or, oh, okay, I guess she thinks this way. So it was more like that. But yeah, mostly it very much, the spirit kind of came, this is what I want it to be. And I was just like, good, because I want you to be that too. And it just kind of worked out that way. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's so
Can you
cool.
give us a little, I don't know, like blurb or like summary of like, or, back cover blurb of the story to get listeners, if they haven't heard of your book, a little taste of what they have to expect?
I actually have a copy. Do you mind if I just read the blurb? Because I'm terrible still. Do you mind if I just read the copy of read the blurb? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Rafi Cohen is a 24-year-old preschool teacher who just got broken up with for the 4th time by the same girl. It's a torturous loop she's stuck in, but that's what love is, right? When Rafi's best friend Jeremiah forces her into therapy for her relationship woes, she finally finds the courage to follow her gut, leave London, and end her relationship for good. But it's when Rafi discovers a disturbing truth about one of her students that she's got no choice but to confront her own traumatic childhood. What Rafi doesn't know, as she embarks on a journey to help her students and herself, is that there's always help available. There are always sources of support that will provide her with what she needs, including some that are more, let's say, magical. So that's
Oh,
so
that's
that's
so awesome.
that's the general. It's very much Rafi's journey of healing and going through her process that she needs to go through, which very much mirrored my own, obviously. But yes, there is a mystery for the reader to kind of meet and to find out how this mystery connects with Rafi's journey. And that, I think, is more of the perspective that I really wanted to merge it with this very human story. I don't know if I'll say more than that because I'm very much...
No spoilers.
Yeah,
Everyone has to go read the book.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. I'm really excited about getting to put this story on my TBR list.
Thank you. I will send you a copy whenever you want. Absolutely, yes.
I want to go back to something that you said about you felt like this need to create beauty from the pain that you had lived through. And that
Yeah.
connects with something that actually like it's something that I've kind of lived by, but I came back to it actually just this morning. I think we reposted something that Jemiah Liberty had written, and it was based off of a quote by Kate Rakowski, and it said, "Nothing ever ends poetically. It ends and we turn it into poetry. All of that blood was never once beautiful. It was just red." Um, and I feel like that's a quote that when I read, like it hit my soul. And I was like, this is the gift and the responsibility of storytellers in our world because we're given the task of taking all of the brokenness, all of the pain, all of the ugly stuff of the world and turning it into something beautiful while still telling the truth about the pain and not trying to gloss over it, not trying to sugarcoat it. Um, but was that a responsibility that you felt as you were writing, and how did you balance telling the truth about the pain without sugarcoating it?
Oh, first off, I feel like because if I said it as a way of one of my values is to create beauty. Beauty doesn't. It's not divorced from pain. Like it's you can't. In my opinion, you can't create beauty if there's not truth in it. And we live in a world and we have experiences where truth can sometimes be quite dark and quite painful. For me, the beauty would be very shallow and not meaningful and not substantial if it didn't have the truth of everything that we experience, or at least or a person experiences. I don't know if I saw it as a responsibility, because I think it's just something that I really am very committed to, seeing my life that way and processing pain and turning it into beauty, even way before I knew that I would be writing fiction. I think it's just something that I don't know how to live in this world without constantly wanting and trying to turn my pains into something beautiful. Because I don't like the other option, I don't like the other option of, being stuck with the pain and not knowing how can I help myself? What can I do about it? And also I'm very much, but, to answer what you said, I'm very much of the belief that once you help yourself, you've automatically helped so many other people as well. Because it's not just because it ripples out, once you're able to heal yourself, your wounds aren't unconsciously or, not intentionally, but unconsciously affecting other people. It's energy that then gets rippled out to other people. So I don't know if it's more of like if it's a responsibility that I always keep in my mind, like I must do this. It's something that just is very much a part of how I experience myself and how I want to live in this world. Which is to do my best to turn my pains into beauty. And this is very important to Rafi as well, like how to turn your pain into a purpose. And I do feel that one of my purposes is to create sweetness, it's to create beauty, but it's not to do so in a way that then divorces itself from truth. And sometimes truth is incredibly, incredibly dark and painful, and it sucks. It freaking sucks.
Yeah.
But I don't want to live in this world without going through that process. So yeah, I think it's more just something that is very much a huge part of me. So it's not something I think about as it's my responsibility. It's something that I don't want to live any other way. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's interesting knowing, I don't know the details of your background, just that, but that a lot of people who have been through trauma, especially as children and things like that, end up having this ability, this resilience and this strength to be able to see that beauty through the darkness and find the purpose in that. So that's a really beautiful thing that you've been able to do and give back and then give it as a gift to the world, because if
Yes.
someone hasn't been through that, like pain, I always think of like pain and trauma, it's all relative to our own
Yeah.
experiences. And if someone hasn't been through what you have, then sometimes something small can seem really big to someone else. And
Yeah.
then, but like through, and maybe doesn't know how to deal with it as well. And it's really easy to get bogged down. And I mean, I have my days too, believe me.
Oh
I have
yeah.
my days where I'm like, I need someone else's help.
Yeah, exactly. It's
And so
a
that
never-ending
there's
process. Yeah.
yeah, like we all need each other in terms of, sometimes getting through the day and getting through this world,
Yeah.
especially right
Yeah.
now.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And in case anyone is wondering, like we say at One Brilliant Arc that storytellers are going to be the ones to change the world. And in case anyone is wondering about like if that's actually a reality, it is because of what Ella just shared. That healing for yourself that you find when you tell your story with honesty, with your authentic voice, and give ownership to what you've experienced, you find that healing for yourself, and the ripple effects of that is that now you're healed, so now you can impact your physical immediate world in a more
Yeah.
positive way. But also in sharing this story now, as Jess said, you're sharing that healing with other people because now people who have a similar story can see themselves in your story and start giving themselves that validation. Um, and then for people who haven't experienced it, they learn empathy and they learn how to relate to other people who have experienced that kind of pain in this world in a better way. So when we say storytellers will change the world, that is exactly what we mean. And I'm just so honored to know you and to know the mission that you're taking on because it's a heavy responsibility to carry, to be the one that can see all of the pain in the world and turn it into something beautiful but still
Yeah.
true. That's a really heavy thing. I've experienced the heaviness of it, as Jess was saying. Like, it just, it feels so heavy at times. There's days where I'm just like so bogged down. I'm like, I can't carry all of this. And
Yeah.
that's where this community comes in, because we can help carry each other's stories as we do the good work of telling them and sharing them with the world. So I'm so grateful to know you. I'm so grateful for the work they're doing. And I'm so glad that Jess and I have this opportunity to get to talk with people
Yes,
and
I
build the
am too.
community here. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have to ask, do you have more stories on the horizon? What's the next for you in your journey?
Yeah, so I definitely have a story that is like, Ella, come on, Ella, come on. I definitely have, I definitely have a story that I very much want to start writing. But it does not feel completely because of everything that I'm juggling. Like I'm juggling my work as a music teacher, a potential master's in the somewhat near future. I also, my wife is pregnant, and so we're
Oh
welcoming.
my gosh, congrats.
We're
It's a
getting
lot.
it's a lot, exactly. So I feel like I need to go through a bit of a transition period right now. But touch wood, the story will be a bit more patient with me. I feel like it's been patient with me for many years now. Just a bit more time, and I very much want to. I think about these characters a lot. And it's funny, I can share with you like the source of the inspiration. It happened also at night, funnily enough. It was a dream, a full length like feature film in my mind that I woke up, remembered everything, wrote it down. Happened, yeah. It was literally one of the more insane experiences that I've had. And the dream I had, it was 13 years ago.
Oh my
13 years
gosh.
ago was the dream, and I saw it as a film. So I was like, am I supposed to write a screenplay? What? Because I could tell this had absolutely had meaning for me, but I did not understand how or why. And then it was only when I was knee deep in the editing of The Source of the Wind that it suddenly dawned on me, oh, it's not a movie, it's a novel. And then again, characters were just like born into my, into my head. But I feel like there's something there that's not finished with the plotting. I think I might need to go through my own process outside of the story before I bring it to the story. So yeah, so it's not something that I'm actively working on. Probably will take a bunch more time.
Yeah.
But there's something on the horizon. I hope that I'll be able to work on it sooner rather than later. But I'm also very accepting of the fact that I have a lot going on right now. Like I have a kid on the way. Just hang on.
That takes precedent. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely everyone follow around because Ella does share her writing on her Substack. Do you want to share like kind of what you write about there so people can subscribe to you?
Sure. So first off, the Substack's name is Wide-Eyed Ella. And it's kind of it's a combination of many things. I definitely share about the behind the scenes of the story of The Source of the Wind, my process of self-publishing and how I'm learning to market and all sorts of things. But a lot of it is also just my own musings, my own spiritual perspectives on things. I published a piece not that long ago called this is just an example of letting go of the wound of imperfection. And so a lot of what I include in my fiction writing, like the things that I'm learning and processing, the healing, the psychology, the spirituality, the meaning making, the creating of beauty from pain, I do that with essays, just personal essays as well. So it's a mix of everything. And yeah, so that's my Substack, Wide-Eyed Ella. And I'm actually, if you don't mind, I would love to meet more indie authors on Substack, because I'm hoping to do, and Jessica knows this, we're in talks about it, to do a newsletter swap.
Yeah, so, which you had to explain to me because I'm like, I still don't know what this is.
It's the first time I'm doing one as well, so it's okay. But if there's anyone here who liked what I talked about, The Source of the Wind, and they think they will like it, I would love for you guys to reach me and to potentially do a newsletter swap together, specifically for Substack authors. I think would be really, really fun. But yeah, so that's where you can find me. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you for everyone who said hi in the chat. I see Edgar here and The Secret Ingredient. And yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone who joined and everyone who said hi. Jesse Pogue as well. We're just super grateful. Again, this is about community, and these moments where we can share our stories and help each other carry them are so special. We're so grateful too that we get to be at the heart of that. And I love this idea of a newsletter swap. Do you want to explain it for anyone listening who also might not know the definition?
I'll do my best. So because it's the first time that I'm doing it as well, so I'm still also kind of learning the ropes. But it's basically when two authors realize that they will very much likely enjoy each other's books, and that their readership will enjoy each other's books. And once they realize that, oh, there is actually a lot of commonality here, and I reckon my readers will love your book and your readers will love my book, then they agree to do a newsletter swap, which is that they both read the book and then they recommend each author's book to their own readership. And it's just a way of basically absolutely lifting authors and books and readers and sharing the great creative work that people are doing, and helping each author find new readers, especially readers that have a lot of common with the other authors. And it's just something that can be very mutually beneficial and supportive. So yeah, if there's anyone who wants to, then I'm here.
Yes, we will link everything in the description below after this recording posts. And yeah, we'll link all the places that you can find Ella And
Yeah.
if you are a writer who is carrying a story that is just kind of begging you to write it, and you want someone to help you walk through that daunting version, definitely DM us at 1 billion arc as well, because that's exactly what we do. We walk writers through that experience, um, and make sure that you're telling the truth and you're finding your voice and you're staying whole while doing it. Which is, those things don't always come as easily as they sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to say than do.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, well, thank you so much. Is there anything else that, let's say, we'll wrap up with what's one piece of advice from both Jess and Ella, because both of you have had that experience of sharing a story with the world, having the story choose you and then sharing it with the world. What's one piece of advice that you would give to someone else who is carrying a heavy story and wondering if anyone else, like, if their voice is worth it?
Ooh. I think honestly, the fact that you have the idea is just proof that it's worth it. I know many people would be like, no, not every idea is a good idea, and you still need to develop skill, and it's a craft, and that's true, that's fine. But I think if you're excited by something, if you're moved to do something, if there is an idea that you care about, just that is proof enough that there is something here. Certainly for
Mhm.
you, and probably honestly also for many other people as well. So I feel like don't I would say not to worry so much about the what it might mean, and what if it's not a good enough idea. If you're excited by it, if it moves you, if for whatever reason, for a reason that you generally don't know even at the beginning, you don't understand the reason, but for whatever reason you are moved to create, you are moved to write, you are moved to share a story, there is a reason for it, and you'll probably discover it later. Maybe not now, but you'll probably discover it later. So
Yeah.
I think just to surrender to the process and go with it and see where it takes you, because it can take you to avenues within yourself and even in your external world that you have no idea. Like, and it's so cool to see how it unfolds. So just enjoy it. Go down the river stream, I think, and just see where it takes you, and
I
not
love
to put so much expectation on it at first. It's all good.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that analogy of like just going down the river, like surrendering. Like I have a whole scene of it in my book with
Yes,
one of my
exactly.
characters.
I love that so much. And I read that scene exactly when I needed that reminder myself. So I was like, yes, exactly. You're so smart.
And so that's what I would say is like my best advice is like even if you're scared to tell the story or you're worried that it's not good enough, whatever, like know for a fact there is someone out there that needs that story.
Mhm.
That
Mm,
needs you to tell that story. Like there is someone out there. And so like you holding back your gift or holding back your story or your voice is actually doing a disservice to our world. And so like I think a lot of like writers, creative types are big givers. We don't always value ourselves as much. And so I'm like, it's how I always reframe it in my head. And I'm like, okay, like me holding back the thing that I love to do, the thing that I get lit up about is actually doing a disservice because we need more love in this world. We need more people lighting, like being lit up and being creative. Like that's what's going to pull our world forward. And we need that
mhm.
desperately right now. And so, tell the story. I know it's scary, but gotta just trust the process too.
Yes, yes, I love that. Exactly what you both touched on. Like, and even that one person who needs your story, you may not ever get a chance like we are right now to sit across from them and hear the evidence that
Yeah.
they needed your story. But you have to know that it's like even if it's after you've died, like there is someone in this world who
Mm-hmm.
is going to need your story. That legacy that you can leave behind is so, so powerful. And it's exactly what will change our world for the
Yeah.
better going
I
forward.
actually think about that a lot with like Vincent van Gogh because he was never
Yes.
famous while he was
Yeah,
alive, right? And I'm
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
can you imagine if he was like, nobody likes my paintings, I'm not gonna do anything with them. And can you imagine
Yes.
a world without his paintings in it? So it's like you don't even know that, yeah, maybe you don't even become famous until after you're dead. But like I mean, let's hope that's not the case. But
Right.
like that Put your story out there, regardless.
Yeah. I also
Yes.
think it's good to know that even if it's literally just one person, even after you're dead, even if it's just one person, that's one person's whole world.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
you've not changed the world, but you've changed the world for a person. That's
Mhm.
huge. That
It
is
is.
huge.
Yes.
And I think we can't underestimate the significance of that. Even if it truly is just one person. That's amazing.
Yes.
It's one person who was impacted and like moved by your work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
And that
yeah.
person has their own ripple effect of
Yeah.
impact.
Ripple effect.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yes. That is, I'm so energized to be around you guys. It's so inspiring to be in community with other creatives who have that worldview and that understanding. Because I think that, creatives aren't always honored in this world. It's a profession that's kind of like poo-pooed a lot. Um,
We're
and
changing that.
yes, we are. We are changing that. We are letting people know that it's storytellers who will change the world for the better. If you want a better world, then become a storyteller. And yeah, that's the best way we can leave this chat off with.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ella, for being with us. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for walking through your journey so faithfully and so open-heartedly, and then being willing to share that healing with others. And thank you,
Thank you so
everyone, who
much.
joined us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. This was so fun. Thank you so much. It was genuine pleasure and joy to talk to you guys. Thank you so much. I enjoyed it so much. Thank
Of
you.
Thank
course.
you.
We'll hope to.
And you get to go to sleep now since it's like 11
Yes.
midnight your
Yeah.
time.
It's so good. Good night. I'm like, oh, okay, time to go to bed.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us for this bedtime chat.
Yeah.
All
Bye.
right. We'll see you all
Bye.
next time.